Okay, welcome to installing maps and cars in Mudrunner offline and a little bit of modding uh, information for you. Um, you'll need programs such as Dreamweaver to read the XML files. You'll also, if you're going to mod paint jobs on trucks or stuff like that, you'll need a program equivalent to like Photoshop or Paint.net, something. Um, you'll need a DDS viewer program to read the graphic files in the game. And then I will, in the description, I'll leave a link to an online program that converts your JPEGs into DDS after you're done altering them. And also the sites that I get all my cars and my trucks and my maps and everything else from. First thing to do when you start out is you go to wherever your game is installed. Mine's in C, Games, Mudrunner. And you want to open up your config file here. Okay, in the standard game, you're going to open up the config file, and that's an XML file. Once you have that open, you've got to add this line to it, okay? That's not in the original one. So you have to add this line to it. Add it right above media zip. It's a media path equals media, okay? After you've done that, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to go back here and you're going to make this file. You're going to go, you'll right click, new folder, and name it media, okay? And what that does is that's telling the game where to install your new files. And it's all going to be installed in this folder, okay? These are all the files for all the maps I've downloaded, all the cars I've downloaded, and everything like that. But the levels are the maps. These are the maps I've got. And then a lot of these numbers correspond to the different maps. Your billboards are going to be where all your trucks are that you've downloaded, the pictures of them. And classes is where all the XML files are for the trucks, okay? So these are all the XML files for each truck that I've got, and the trailers and everything else, okay? Now, you can alter your trucks, and I'll explain how to do that. We'll pick a truck here, and I'll just give you a brief rundown of what I've learned how to do and what you can do. We'll go with the Monte Carlo. Basically, underneath the wheels section is where you want to go, okay? Now, the hardpoint offset Y right here, okay? This number is how high your truck is or your car, okay? The higher this is, okay, the higher the truck. And the lower it is, the lower it sits to the ground, okay? This is your steering angle. You can adjust this. If you want more steering angle or less, you can adjust that number. The lower it is, the less it has. The higher it is, the more it has. Your suspension minimum and maximum, these are how much your shocks move up and down, okay? Or how stiff your suspension is or how loose it is. You can mess with these to make, to get your car to handle the way you want. Suspension strength, you can higher this number to make it stronger or lower it. Sometimes that does affect the height of the vehicle, depending on how strong the suspension is. It'll make the shock stiffen, which makes the vehicle go higher because it puts them at full extension. The type here, this is your this is the tire that you have on your car, and you can switch tires from truck to car to truck, whatever you want. Okay, all you gotta do is if you have the tire on one truck that you like and you want it on this car, what you would do is you would copy the name of the tire on the truck that you like, and then just paste it in here, and it'll be on your car when you go into the game. The truck data section. This is where you can adjust your fuel capacity, the size of your fuel tank. You know, a lot of the trucks in Mudrunner, they come with barely any freaking fuel in them. And the tanks are so small that you're stopping at every gas station. So if you want, you can hire that number. The steer speed is how fast the steering is. Back steer speed, if you have rear wheel steering, which I'll explain in a minute, that's how fast that would be. Engine start delay, engine start time. Responsiveness to your steering, I leave mine at 1. It works very well for me. Again, if you go back up the wheels, you'll see steering. Where is it? The steering angle again. Okay. Now, if you notice, that's not in the bottom two. The way this is set up is the first two are your front wheels, the bottom two are your rear wheels. So if you wanted 4-wheel steering, all you have to do is copy this, steering angle equals 40, and then put it under here in the same spot. It's under hardpoint X up here. You would put it under hardpoint X down here on both tires, and you will have rear wheel steering on your car. So it would be 4-wheel steering, and that's how you do that. Engine sounds, you can swap engine sounds out of trucks and cars. To, you know, if you download one car and you like that sound and you want it on another car, all you have to do is copy this from the car you like and put it in the car that you want to change. This is your transmission. My transmission gears are all out of a rock crawler. Okay, and I use the same gearing on every truck I build. I don't know why, I just like it. 3 low is very good in this. It's just about the right speed where you're not messing up the truck, and it's easy to steer, and it'll go through anything. So this is what I use. Again, these are things you can change. If you find a car that you like the gearing in, but you don't have a truck that you don't like the gearing in, you can take the gearing from the car and put it in the truck, or vice versa, whatever. You do it here. This here is your damage capacity. Again, you can hire your damage capacity so that you're not fixing your truck as much. If you use these codes right here for sensation minimum and maximum, okay, the codes I have put in right here allow my cars to drive underwater. They will go underwater. They will not die. They will not shut off. They will go underwater. Okay, so just a little tip for you right there. Took me a long time to find that code. Anyways, and then the rest is, you know, like light flares and stuff like that. You can mess with this. You can mess with a lot of this, like the colors here. If you get into XML color coding and shit like that, you can change the colors of your lights, and you can do stuff like that. And that's pretty much it as far as the cars go. Now, as far as tires go, the tires on the car, on this car, are you go back here and you go down to wheels, and then you find the tire. Here's the tire's name, AGEER 3KK, and you just find that name in the XML file for it, or it should be right here. Yeah, right here. Okay, now your tires, the mass right here, 600 is the weights of the tires, okay, in the game. So, you know, if you're finding yourself going over things and it looks like the tire's kind of like not even touching the object or whatever, floating or whatever, you can make the car heavier. You can make the tires heavier so that they actually plant on the ground. Your wheel friction and body friction and substance friction numbers, these two numbers right here that say 4, the higher those numbers are, the less chance you got of being stuck in the deepest of the mud. So the higher you make those numbers, the less chance you have of getting stuck. Now, some trucks don't have this section in their tires, but you can add it. So if you take this and you know, if you wanted, you have a set of tires that don't have this section in it, you could always go to this tire, copy this and put it in there, and then that tire will have the same gripness and strength in mud, water, whatever. And that's pretty much how you do the tires. The width and radius really don't do much as far as visuals in the game. If you were to increase the width number, all it does is make the track on the dirt look bigger. It doesn't make the tire look bigger. So it really doesn't do much. You have to alter the actual graphics file in order for the tires to be, you know, if you wanted to make wide tires and stuff like that. And that's pretty much about it as far as that's concerned. Now, when you're installing, after you've done the stuff to install new folders, okay, and you have your media folder here now, what you would do is, I'm not going to reinstall it because I already did, but I'll show you. You open up a map you downloaded, okay, and you get to where it says media, and then it's going to say levels. So you open up your media file, and you see levels. So you open that, and then open the levels over here. Then what you would do is just copy these out of the zip file and drag them over and drop them in. And then you go back, and these numbers down here correspond to the levels. So some maps have the numbers, some maps don't. And but if your download has a number XML here, you take that and you drag it down in here. And it's as simple as that. And the same thing with the cars. The cars are going to have, the cars are going to have a lot more files to them. I have a few here. I'll show you what I mean. Let's see. We'll do the 2006 Cummins. The cars have a little bit more files, but they're all in here, okay? So you would take everything from sounds and paste it in your sound section, okay? Same thing goes, and the rest is the same, okay? Your classes, you paste it in the class section, whatever there is, you know, you have your wheels in your truck, so you open up your classes section, and you would paste whatever trucks go into trucks, wheels go into wheels, so on and so forth. And same thing with the rest of the stuff. And then some of the cars have a number thing too. The number thing always goes here. Okay. So this file here would always go down here. And T is going to be, these are all your DDS files. These are all the graphics files for those trucks. And that's basically how that works, installing them. As far as the graphics go, and changing graphics to trucks. Okay, we'll go through this. This is sometimes a pain in the butt because of the way a DDS file is constructed. Some of them are constructed where you can see what you're doing, and it's easy to mod the paint job on a truck. And some of them just aren't. Okay, so like say if you open this one, for instance, okay, it's really hard to tell what is what. So it's kind of, I mean, it probably could be done, but it's going to be difficult to get everything correct by doing it with a file that looks like this. So I usually avoid those. But if you can find one that's like this one, this truck, you can pretty much tell what everything is. these are the doors, the hood, the front of the truck, back of the truck, bumpers, and you can alter the paint jobs on these. And it's not that hard. You'll need a DDS viewer like this one. And basically what you do is you open up the DDS file like I did, then you would automatically save it to your desktop as a JPEG. Then open it up in like Photoshop or paint.net or something like that. Alter it the way you want it, and then you have to save it as a JPEG. And then in the description, I'm going to give you a link to an online site that converts your JPEGs back into a DDS file. Once that's done, what you would do is you take the DDS file and you would put it back in here, and then your truck would be painted. It's a long process. Trust me. Most of the paint jobs I do on the trucks that I've got painted have taken at least a few hours in Photoshop just to get them right. It's not easy to do. And I think the reason why is because these are all made in like a 3D program. So the paint job's all made at once, and then it's broken down into a DDS file, whereas you can't do that when you're trying to redo it. So you got to do it in sections, and getting the sections to line up correct if you're doing a complicated paint job or something like that is kind of difficult. But like I said, I'm still messing with the program. I found out a lot of things you can do and you can't do, and I'm going to leave links in the description basically on how to do some suspension work. Rear wheel steering, I'll leave a link for. The DDS viewer, I'm going to leave a link for. The 2 sites I get all my mods from, I'll leave a link for. But that's about it. So enjoy. Hope you have fun, and keep on mudding.